Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, this is Josh. Welcome to another stupendous game of StarCraft 2. This one's being played between evil geniuses in control. He is the blue Protoss up here on the top spawn of Lost Temple, and his opponent today is going to be coL.Ryze, the green Zerg over here on the right side of Lost Temple. And that's right, I keep saying Lost Temple with emphasis because it's not Shattered Temple, it's actually Lost Temple. And the reason for that is because this is Game 2 in a best-of-3 series for the Grand Finals of the ESEA.net Team League for StarCraft 2. And the league started so long ago that Lost Temple is actually in their map pool because it was still in Blizzard's ladder map pool before Shattered Temple was even released. So these guys are playing on a bit of a dated map. Just to remind you of some of the differences between Lost Temple and Shattered Temple. Lost Temple has a cliff right here, and the base in the corner is actually an island. There's no destructible rocks to get there. These Vespene geysers here on the natural are actually on separate sides of the mineral patch, whereas on Shattered Temple they're actually both tucked into the main. That's a more minor difference. Of course, the Xel'Naga Towers, there's 2 of them on Lost Temple, only 1 on Shattered Temple. The middle area is kind of blocked in by all these crazy little pieces of architecture. But yeah, those are the major differences. EG.iNcontroL doing his scouting after getting that first pylon down. He did check the close ground positions first, and now he knows where Ryze is because Ryze revealed this Overlord. And of course, most Zerg players, actually almost all Zerg players, I'm pretty comfortable saying that, send the Overlord to that close flying position first just to see if their opponent is there. So revealing this Overlord, of course, tips off EG.iNcontroL that his Zerg opponent is at that close flying position. And of course, Ryze, once again, has to do this spawning pool first, followed by Extractor, so they can get a couple of lings out and be free of this probe menace. EG.iNcontroL most likely going to be dropping that pylon again like we saw in the first game. It's just such a common thing to do, and it does delay the hatchery out of your opponent. So probably going to be seeing that pylon there in just a moment. Yeah, actually drops it as soon as I looked away. So EG.iNcontroL not disappointing there. Ryze doing the exact right response there, building spawning pool first, then Extractor, so we can just build 2 lings, perhaps even a 4th. Yeah, 4 lings total. Going to be able to take out that pylon, and EG.iNcontroL is just going to come in there, make sure everything's going as planned. No second gas, anything crazy like that. No lair already morphing. Make sure it's still, you know, an expansion sort of strategy before taking those minerals and getting the hell out of Ryze's base. We do have a pylon here for EG.iNcontroL that's going to allow him to warp in on the low ground, cut that run distance by quite a lot if he does do mass gateways. The first game out of EG.iNcontroL, we saw 2 gas very quickly. We saw 3 gates into DTs. I don't know if he's going to be doing that again. Ryze does clear the path here for this natural hatchery to come down. Don't know if we're going to be seeing Dark Templar again. Actually, I would probably say there's maybe a 5% chance that we see DTs again, unless it goes into a really late game and he decides they're necessary, because, you know, Ryze basically figured it out that DTs were coming last time, and if he looks for all the same sort of stuff this time around, I'm sure he'll be aware if EG.iNcontroL is going for DTs. But he does have 2 gas pretty quick. He's just not mining out of one of them. He's not harvesting at all out of this left assimilator, which makes me sort of curious to see what he's actually going to be planting next. And it is just going to be a 2nd gateway for the time being, and a 3rd gateway for the time being. This could be a 3-gate expand, which is a pretty safe build against Zerg. You just drop that pylon and forage down on the low ground, take your expansion whenever you feel like it. Ryze, on the other hand, not doing anything crazy either. Getting metabolic boost. He pulled all his workers off of gas. There you see him chilling at 0 up there in the top right. He's got his hatchery about to complete here at the natural. Looks like this probe was discovered by a couple of Ryze's lings, and it is going to be taken out once metabolic boost finishes. Zergling speed, Ryze doing a very good job getting that, of course, like all good Zerg players will. And this Nexus should be coming along as soon as we hit 400 minerals up here in the top right. The lings actually run past the sentry. Oh, and there's nothing blocking there. Those lings could actually, oh, they had such a small window there to get in. But I'm not sure what they would have seen anyway. Let's take Ryze's vision. Oh no, I can't take Ryze's vision because the ling just died. Let's go back over here. He did see at least that 1 gateway there, and just barely missed that 3rd gateway. Actually, the Nexus got canceled. Did it even get built? I'm not even sure, actually. I don't guess he did actually build that Nexus, but he might be switching gears here. No, he is dropping a low ground pylon, so this is still consistent with an expansion build. He's still, oh, he is actually switching totally. He's over to 4 gates now instead of just 3-gate expand. So man, that expansion is probably going to be much, much later. We'll see where the forward pylon actually gets dropped, if it gets dropped anywhere. ENcontroL turning into a more aggressive build here. Actually does not get the warp in on that pylon. Ryze just saved himself a big headache there by killing that probe just before the pylon went down. He would not have been able to kill that pylon because it just had too much health, and all these stalkers were sitting right there as well. But we do have a couple more spine crawlers being made here. We got a queen as well. Ryze pulling a couple of drones just to make sure he doesn't lose the game flat out here. Ryze actually did respond by killing that pylon that was warping in on the low ground, and just pokes up the top just to see what's going on up there. ENcontroL actually going to retreat back home. Because that attack did not really go off the way he wanted it. Ryze actually benefited from a very, very close call there and killed that probe before it could drop the pylon, but he's still aware of where ENcontroL's army actually is. He just had a Ling at the Zelnug Tower that got killed off, so he knows exactly how big the army is, where it is, and now he's going to destroy these destructible rocks and try to take the gold base, so he's just content to continue macroing up. He does not even have a lair or roach warren or baneling nest or anything. He's just got 4 spine crawlers and a queen. He's got 2 extractors that he's just now actually starting to use the second gas, and now his hatchery is becoming a lair. It is evolving beyond his wildest dreams, and ENcontroL way ahead actually in supply for this point in the game. I would expect to see Ryze a lot further ahead at this point, just based on that first game and knowing Ryze's style. He likes to go very, very low army count and get a ton of drones up to about 60 before he switches tech gears. But now ENcontroL on the move once again. He's got a lot of sentries, zealots, and stalkers here. Drones being pulled off the line preemptively. All the Lings trying to approach from the left side. They're actually not going to do anything. 4 or 5 of them just get picked off quite quickly. But ENcontroL is now aware that there are Lings on the left side of him. There's spine crawlers on the right side of him. He's not really going to be able to escape. He's going to have to do some crafty force fields, I believe. Drops 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them to try and keep those Lings out, but I think they are actually going to manage to sneak in anyway. Zealot's trying to do a good job on these 4 spine crawlers. 3 of them still left standing. Transfusions going down on the spine crawlers. Those Lings are managing to trickle in and try and kill off those sentries. Of course, they are the weakest of those gateway units against Lings, so they are just going to chomp away on the sentries. 2 spine crawlers still alive, and a 3rd one pops now. ENcontroL losing basically the bulk of his army there. Warped in 3 more zealots, but not actually going to be able to continue this attack. There's no way. Great transfusions out of Ryze, managing to keep this spine crawler alive with only 16 HP was a big help. He did lose a lot of drones, I believe. Let's look at the harvester count, 20 against 17. Let's look at units lost. Control-L, I believe. No, wait, what is it? It's there's a command here for this. Units killed. Control-R. There it is. Workers killed. 15 workers killed for ENcontroL. Only 3 workers killed for Ryze. So that's pretty good. 66 units killed total. Units lost should tell the same sort of tale. But actually, ENcontroL's units lost are worth so much more than all of those Lings and drones put together. But here we go. Ryze actually moving up the left side once again. I don't know what he's going to actually do. He's probably just waiting to see if a Nexus ever comes up here so he can try to terrorize it and force ENcontroL to stay on one base, but ENcontroL actually looks pretty content to stay on one base with these 4 gates, which is kind of surprising. He will want to expand here soon, but he's trying so quickly to rebuild this army. He's making tons of zealots because he realizes he hasn't seen a single roach or baneling this entire game. All it's been so far are these Lings and spine crawlers, and zealots do a darn good job against those sorts of units. So here he goes, running right back in. Ryze with 4 spine crawlers, just jabbing away. That queen does go down pretty quickly. All the Lings return from the left side of the map, trying to take out these stalkers. Actually do manage to kill off a couple of stalkers. One of them survives with only 4 HP. He needs to get in on that one quickly. Spine crawlers, 2 more being dropped. They're still doing such a great job killing everything. 2 kills, 3 kills, 6 kills, 6 kills. That's about 20 kills between them there, and these Lings continue to stream out 2 at a time. Only a few zealots left here, and a queen comes down from the main. 2 spine crawlers, 1 spine crawler remaining. A brand new one just now finishes, so the queen and spine crawler combo do actually manage to repel ENcontroL's last 2 units, and 14 Lings are on the way. So this is one of the weirdest low econ games that I've seen. Ryze has been trying to work off of 2 bases the whole time, while ENcontroL works off of just 1. He's not even building any more probes, just hanging out at 17 workers, trying to continue this 4-gate into the 13-minute mark. Pretty interesting stuff. Back in Ryze's base, he has a lair complete. He's got 1 Evo chamber with no upgrades complete. He's got no roach warren, no baneling nest, still working off of only 2 gas, sending all these Lings back up here, and ENcontroL actually killed off his pylon so he could get his units out. Ryze realizes it very quickly and runs right into the main. InControL realizing it as well, warps in a Zealot to try and defend against all of these Lings, killing off his probes, but this is a huge deal. If he loses any more probes, he hasn't been producing them at all. He's lost 2 of them there, and he is clashing right back into the front here. Spinecrawlers trying to do their job, more Lings already prepared. There is a Queen here, not enough energy for a transfusion. Drones having to be pulled once again. Spinecrawler goes down, 1 Spinecrawler remaining, it goes down. There's still a lot of Zealots here for InControL. He's got 5 of them alive, but this Queen is doing so much damage, and more Lings keep popping out to keep the Zealots occupied inside the main of InControL. There are still Lings running around. He's still got 3 of them intact. If we look at units lost, oh my goodness, Ryze has lost 149 units, but man, Harvester count actually going to tell the real tale. 22 against 15 for the duration of this game. No gas being harvested at all for InControL. Ryze perfectly comfortable just massing more Lings throughout this game. He is finally getting a Baneling nest up, so he's getting something beyond his Speedlings at the 14.5 minute mark. This almost reminds me of Spanishiwa a little bit, but really it's sort of out of necessity rather than just a strategy. Massing Lings, Queens, Spinecrawlers against this 4-gate maneuver here from InControL. It's just not doing enough damage for InControL, but all these Spinecrawlers can be rebuilt pretty quickly. Ryze does have a stronger mineral income right now, so he can just drop another 4. Actually, I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't done that already. He's at 29 Harvesters against 18. InControL has still no gas income, so he's only going to be warping in Zealots here, and lots of Lings still being produced. Every single larva goes towards those Speedlings right now, and there are no Spinecrawlers on the ground, so Ryze actually does a good job engaging these Zealots off the creep before they get into his actual natural. There's nothing here really to defend. This Queen, I have to imagine, would get killed off without any Spinecrawler support, but Banelings starting to morph now. There are 8 Banelings here InControL with primarily just Zealots. Those Banelings are going to do a lot of damage. He can also get that Baneling speed upgrade since he's already got the lair. We'll see if he actually goes for it or not, or if he commits all that gas. Actually, he has tons of gas available still, so he can commit all these Lings. Baneling's going to crash right into the Zealots. They run almost the same speed, but the Banelings are actually a fraction of a second faster, so they crash into all those Zealots. The Lings are going to clean up here. There's 3 Zealots remaining, but the Lings actually, are they going to finish up? I don't know. Those Banelings did a ton of damage, though, and now he's making 8 more just inside of the natural. This Queen's still just hanging out, spitting all those larvae whenever she can, but here we go. We engage with the last 3 Zealots. All these Banelings finish, kill off the Zealots. 2 more on the way for InControL. This is basically a suicide mission at this point. He knows that Ryze has a Queen there. He knows he's got Lings still available. Those Zealots go down without a fight. All these Lings from Ryze about to finish off this pylon that we saw earlier in the game. He only has 12 HP. Oh my goodness, 12 HP, but now 35 shields starting to rebuild. If he gets those Lings back in there to do some damage on that pylon, it will unpower 3 of his gateways. This is the so-called Artosis pylon that we've seen on the NASL recently. Any pylon that powers 3 or more gateways is henceforth known as an Artosis pylon, but InControL being guilty of it himself. These 3 Lings still just running around. They might actually try to get in there, but InControL is protecting it pretty well with these Zealots, and now only 1 Ling remains. Ryze back at home getting a Spire up. Lots more Zerglings coming out as well. If we look at the army value, Control... What the heck here? Production tab? I thought it was Control A. I just hit Control A. There it is. 18 supply for Ryze. That's so ridiculous. InControL actually has the larger army value here, but Ryze running in here with all these Lings, getting the full surround on every Zealot. They're both sitting at 0-0 upgrades still. This is the craziest low econ game that I've seen in quite a while here on Lost Temple of all places. But Ryze actually taking a base now at the gold. His mineral income, if it wasn't already superior, is going to be greatly superior here in just a moment. But InControL, realizing he's about to mine out at his main, he's got really nothing going on for him. He just played not up to his best ability throughout the game. He's at 18 Harvesters against 34 there at the end, and GG's out. Ryze takes the series 2-0. Now let's go into another one of these Complexity versus Evil Geniuses series from the ESEA.net Grand Finals for their StarCraft 2 Team League. Get that spawning pool up, but still has not built an extractor, so he's a little bit behind there towards his metabolic boost. Of course, mineral only sort of gathering does help him stay alive against this bunker rush a little bit better because he can drop spine crawlers. He